You know that dream of starting your own business? The freedom, the passion, being your own boss? It's this incredible vision that gets so many of us started. But here's the thing. That dream can turn into a nightmare, like fast. Let's get into why that happens.
This is it, right? This is the goal. For a guy named Stix, who started his own printing business, this was everything. He pictured money coming in while he slept, total control over his time. But what he got was something totally different.
The reality? It was a cage he had built for himself. Instead of that freedom he dreamed of, he became a prisoner in his own business. He was the first one in, the last one to leave, juggling sales, customer service, and actually running the printer. He hadn't built a business at all. He'd built himself a life sentence.
And then came this just crushing realization. He looked around his shop one day and it hit him. If he stopped working for even one single day, the whole operation would grind to a halt. A day off? A sick day? No way. He didn't own a business. He owned a very, very demanding job.
This slide really just nails the difference. On one side, you're owning a job. The whole thing depends on you. You are the key employee. If you don't work, you don't get paid. On the other side, you're owning a business. It doesn't depend on you. It depends on systems. It's a real asset, something you could actually sell, and it makes money without you having to be there. So, which one are you building?
Now get this. This is the amazing part of the story. Just 6 months after hitting that rock bottom moment, Stix walked into his shop to find it running perfectly. Without him, orders were being processed, customers were happy, and the business was actually growing. Which brings us to the big question, right? How on earth did he pull that off? The answer to that is the key to unlocking true freedom as an owner, and we're going to break it down step by step. So to find the solution, first we have to really understand the problem. It's something called the owner's trap, and it all comes down to these 3 competing roles that every single founder is juggling, usually without even realizing it. The author Michael Gerber laid these out perfectly. You've got the technician, that's the person doing the actual work. For Stix, it was running the printer. Then there's the manager, the organizer, the planner. And finally, the entrepreneur, the visionary, the big picture thinker. The trap for Stix and for so many others is getting stuck being the technician. So how do you escape that technician trap? Well, it's not about working harder. It's about a complete shift in how you think. It's about adopting something called the franchise mindset. Ray Kroc, the genius who built the McDonald's empire, understood this better than anyone. He wasn't obsessed with making the single best hamburger in the world. He was obsessed with creating the absolute best system for making hamburgers. That was the secret sauce. And it's not just him. Jeff Bezos says the exact same thing. It's not about trying to find a bunch of brilliant people. It's about building brilliant systems that anyone can follow to get consistently brilliant results. Elon Musk is even more blunt about it. If the company falls apart without you, you don't have a company. You just have a really high-stress job. The message from the best in the world is crystal clear. For it to be a real business, the owner has to be replaceable. So, what is this franchise thinking? Well, it's basically building your business from day one as if you're going to make 1,000 copies of it. Every single process, every script, every little step gets documented. You're creating a clear, repeatable system that pretty much anyone could run. And this is a huge mindset shift. You have to stop trying to be the perfect technician. Instead, your job is to become a designer of a system that can be duplicated flawlessly. That's the real secret to scaling up. Okay, so once you've got the mindset right, let's talk about the practical stuff. Let's get into the actual blueprints you need to design a business that can finally run itself. Every business kind of goes through these 3 stages. First, there's infancy. That's when you are the business. Then comes adolescence, which is that painful process of learning to let go, hiring people, and actually writing things down. The goal, of course, is maturity. That's where your business just hums along on its own, built on a solid foundation of systems. So how do you get your business to that mature stage? You do it by creating 7 essential blueprints. Think of them like the 7 pillars that will hold up your business long after you've stepped away. All right, let's run through them. Number 1, create systems for everything. Why? Because systems give you predictable results. They turn chaos into a smooth, reliable operation. Number 2, standard operating procedures, or SOPs. These are your instruction manuals.
They make sure everything is done with the same quality no matter who's doing it. 3. Delegate without fear. I know, it's hard to let go, but this isn't just about dumping work on people. It's about empowering your team to take ownership. That frees you up to be the visionary. 4. Build a team, not just a bunch of helpers. You want to hire people who follow the system, not just your orders. That's how you build a culture that manages itself. 5. Automate your money systems. This is so crucial. It frees up your mental energy, cuts down on expensive mistakes, and gives you a clear picture of your finances at all times. 6. Build a strong brand. A trusted brand has a life of its own. It attracts customers all by itself, without you. And finally, number 7, build a business that can be sold. Now, why is that so important? Because a business that's sellable is, by definition, a business that doesn't need its founder. It is the ultimate proof that you've succeeded.
Okay, so let's circle back to Stix's. With these blueprints in his pocket, how did he actually go from having a job to owning a valuable asset? Well, he just followed the plan. He started by writing down everything he did, from how he answered the phone to how he packed an order. Those notes became his simple SOPs, and those SOPs became the training manual for his new team. Then he automated his invoicing and started delegating the day-to-day stuff.
And for the first time, Stix wasn't just working in his business, he was working on his business. He made that crucial shift from being the engine to being the architect. He was building a system, not just another job for himself.
And that system became the business. It managed the team, it delivered the results, it kept customers happy, and it generated profit. And most important of all, it gave him the one thing he always wanted in the first place, his freedom. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. In your business, or even in your career, are you thinking like a worker, just focused on the next task? Or are you thinking like a designer, building a system for the future? Your answer to that question will define everything.